crossed lines. Most of the Northwestern's engines accepted diesels and electrics. James had never liked them.
They're alright. Just mixed traffic engines like you and me.
Mixed-up engines, you mean? With windows at each end, how can they know if they're coming or going? Haneda didn't like what James said, because he also has 2 cabs. That's rude.
Toby has 2 cabs, and he gets on alright.
Toby's just a little steam tram.
Oi, we've talked about this. Tram engines are still engines no matter how small.
They're not.
It's 2.
They're not.
It's 2.
Next to the sheds, Diesel was pulling a freight train.
An engine this trainest? How abnormal. I'm a diesel, yet I only have a cab at 1. Isn't it about type and fuel?
No, you're just a troublesome engine.
What? Hey!
If an important engine like me didn't know which way to turn, what would the railway come to? Diesel was unhappy.
James, you devious engine!
Diesel just wanted to make a change and be nice. Recently, Diesel apologized to Daisy for shunting her hard that her spring broke.
The way I did, Daisy. I really didn't mean to cause you any trouble.
And he even explained why he's mostly mean all the time, so Diesel's kindness started off with that. Meanwhile, back at the sheds, all the engines agreed that James was becoming much too puffed up in a smoke box.
Making out his royalty or something. It's disgusting.
I knew Hiro, the master of the railway. Around my time at Yokohama, he was wise to electrics like me and never swanked about.
Oh, gonna be telling James that. It's even there the minute he'll be making our lives. Exactly. But who's gonna trim his wheels for him?
The engines tried all sorts of ideas, but nothing worked. James grew so conceited that the others were glad when he was away. Even the coaches twittered anxiously to each other if they thought he was going to pull them.
I think James is worse than Diesel is. Good thing Thomas is the one pulling us.
One day, James came to the yards fuming with rage. Shunting? Where are Donald and Douglas? They should be here for jobs like that. But the twins were helping on Edward's branch line, so James had to do the work himself. Take that!
Oh, we want a proper engine, not a red monster.
The weather was damp and misty too, so the shunting took a long time. At last, James had only Percy's mail car to fetch before his train was ready. Because of the mist, the signalman sometimes found it hard to see what was happening. James's driver told him that James would whistle when they had collected all the trucks and were clear of the points. They had almost finished when suddenly James heard Diesel's horn close by. The signalman heard it too and thought that Diesel was coming from behind. He pulled the lever, setting the points to avoid a collision. But James wasn't ready. The points were changed when one of the trucks was halfway over them. One bogie went the right way, but the other was diverted towards the main line. Before James realized it, the truck was drifting. The signal stood right in its path. That's torn it. Sir Topham Hatt won't like that.
I suppose it must be difficult to know which way to go when you've got 2 cabs.
But to go 2 ways at once with only 1 cab? That really is something. James pretended he hadn't heard.